What's up, guys? This is the Fitness Game Changer, and what we're going to do in this video is try to take your goals and turn them into a game so you can stay committed to whatever it is that you're trying to do from a fitness aspect. And I'm going to give you a personal example real quick. I don't really struggle with fitness very much. I mean, I'm always doing something to move towards my goals. Sometimes I fall off track, but I get right back on, and it's usually not an issue. But one thing that I don't do well is I don't finish books. So I will start a book, and like 2 weeks into it, I've already quit. And then a month later, I'm buying another book when I haven't even finished the one that I already bought. And I relate this to a lot of people's fitness, right? A lot of people don't stick with the goals that they're trying to get to. And so I was pretty frustrated about this one day, and a check came in the mail. Matter of fact, here's that check right here. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna play a little game. I'm just gonna create a rule where I cannot cash this check until I read the entire book, right? So it's just a fun little way to make me commit to what I said I was going to do, right? And if not, there's a penalty for that. And if I do it, there's a reward. So we're going to talk about your goals and see if we can come up with a game to help you stay accountable to what it is you're looking for. So first thing is you got to be clear about your goals. Get clear, get specific. And I'm talking about physical goals. I'm talking about goals of how much do you want to weigh, all that type of stuff. Get as specific as possible with it. Now, once you get all your goals, like I want to do this many pull-ups, or maybe you want to run a certain distance, whatever it may be, I want you to circle the one that is most important to you. What is the thing that's most important to you? Because we can get a lot of this stuff just by working out, but what thing are we really going to get after? What are we going to go for? And then why are the goals that you wrote down, why is that important to you? If you got to that thing, whatever that is, how would that make you feel? What would change in your life? What would happen to you if you don't? So let's say your goal was, I want to lose weight. And then you put, I want to lose 30 pounds by October, whenever it is. And October 15th, we're trying to get specific, right? And then you say, all right, well, what would change my life? Well, you know what? When I go to my Christmas party this year, I can wear the stuff that I haven't been able to fit into in 2 or 3 years. Or maybe when you get to the beach next summer, you feel more confident. I don't know what that is, but what would change in your life? What little things would you notice throughout the day? Maybe you can get in and out of your car a lot easier. I don't know. Think about what would change in your life. What would happen if you don't do the stuff necessary to make it happen? What are your habits? And if you need to stop this video, stop it and write this down. But what are your habits needed to get there, right? So you may say, well, I got to work out this many times a week. I've got to eat right, blah, blah, blah. And then what's the one thing out of those habits that you need to work on the most? What's the thing that's harder for you? Maybe it's nutrition, or maybe it's getting to your workouts. Maybe you kind of psych yourself out of going to the workouts. Maybe it's making sure you get enough water in. I don't know. Write those things, write as many things as possible down. And what's the thing that you need to work the most on to make that goal happen? All right, and then what habits could be holding you back? Maybe it's drinking out on the weekends, right? Maybe it's negative self-talk. Maybe you're sabotaging yourself, or maybe you're always comparing yourself with others. All right, think about things. What are the things that are holding you back for doing what you need to be doing? Maybe it's kids, and you need a babysitter, or you need to figure out a way to incorporate them in your workouts. I don't know, but what is holding you back, and then how are you going to change those things? So, like for instance, the drinking, you could say, hey, listen, I'm not, every time I start drinking, I'm just going to put it off till next weekend. I'm just saying, hey, well, not right now. What about next weekend? Or maybe you say, listen, every time you drink, you don't eat any carbohydrates. Like those are your carbohydrates, because then you have to drink less, right? Because you don't have the carbs to counteract the alcohol, to slow out the processing. And then you also help in a major way with your calories and fat gain. So what are habits that are holding you back? How are you going to change them? Let's see here. And then, then we get into, now that you know all this stuff, you got it laid out, then we get into like, what's your game going to be? How are you going to keep this visual? If you think back to my book, it's something that sits on my nightstand. So I always see it, and I always see the check hanging out at the top, right? So you need to figure out a way, how can you make sure that you see this every day, and how are you going to keep this visual? How and when are you going to track and measure it? So if it's your weight loss, or there's a certain amount of push-ups, you could say, well, every 2 weeks I'm going to measure it then, or every so often this is what I'm going to do. And then what's your penalty or reward for doing or not doing it? What's your penalty or reward? My penalty was on the check, obviously I get to cash it when I get done. If I don't, I have to sit here and just look at the check. It's not, I can't use the money, right? And then so out of that, I want you to create just a game yourself where you have established a couple of rules where you follow, and then there's some reward and some penalties for not doing it. You may say, hey, listen, if I don't get 3 workouts in this week at Squad Fitness, I have to do 50 burpees on a Saturday, right? And you may say, hey, listen, every time I do a cheat meal, I have to run 3 miles the next day, right? I don't know what that is for you, but what I want you to do is figure out what you're trying to get good at. Let's figure out a way we can make it a game and keep it fun, but also make it something where you're constantly progressing, you stay accountable to it, and just keeps you motivated. All right, guys, so signing off here. Game changer, make your game up. You can change it up. Obviously, there's going to be some stuff that works, some stuff that doesn't, but stay focused on it because it's a lot of fun when you figure out what works for you and what's going to keep you on track to whatever it is you're trying to get to.